Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. When I watch me elevate. Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. hype when I aim up. Elevating that game up. Stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up in the place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
SimPlay Motorsport. We are here for the AM category. It is race 2 of the season, round 2 for these drivers, and there is 10 cars on the grid. Possibly should have been 11, but PM Motorsport not able to come back and take his second race. We do, though, have Danlick this season back and out on the grid as it is. And Barab is with us as well. Once again, Future Avenger OCEEM2R is with us. Kitiez, brand new to the championship. He was obviously in the GT4s last night. What can he do in a GT3 Porsche tonight? That is going to be the biggest question on everybody's lips. We also have then John Andrews back in his McLaren. Pokemok P17. Wasaki's currently 8th in practice. Gone to the Lexus this year since being relegated. Tebby is back. And Mar Albuquerque in his Porsche, which I've just realised is also the wrong car. He's meant to be in the Nissan. So I'll have to drop him a message now, though. We are joined in the commentary box once again, as always, by our good friend and Pro-Am commentator, Joseph Bates, a.k.a. Fury, a.k.a. Lil Jojo. Joe, good evening. Welcome. How are you?
Good evening, Matt. I am great. How are you?
Fantastic. Appreciate the name?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, my good friend.
Yeah. Thanks for that one.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
We're also joined in the commentary box as well by a driver who wants to learn the game, the commentary setting a little more, and wants to pick up some tips from the professional and Fury, and that is Shoemaker, or as we know him, Seth Yanman. Seth, good evening. Welcome to the commentary box. Very well, yourself? We're here, though, at the Temple of Speed. It is Monza, and it is race 2 for these amateur category. Joe, obviously, you missed last week with not being able to get on in time. He was having PlayStation problems.
Yeah.
It's a shorter AM grid than last season, but the pace seems very well matched this year.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mix and match, really, isn't it? You know, you got the top 3 separated by just under 3.5 tenths, and then from 4th downwards, it's just kind of all like, what's the word I'm looking for? Can't think. But yeah, no. Considering there's 10 cars on the grid, I'm kind of curious to see how tonight goes. Obviously, around Monza, pretty fast track.
Yeah.
A lot of fast corners. So, yeah.
The biggest thing as well is obviously this qualifying this year, Joe, which we didn't have last season in the AM category. There was no qualifying. It was all reverse grid. This year there is them qualifying laps, so a chance for these drivers to also not just focus on their race pace and you know, have to come from the back of the grid or the front of the grid. It's a chance for these drivers to now also show their capability in qualifying as well in the amateur league.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance that people have better race pace than they do qualifying pace. I know, like myself, I have better qualifying pace than I do race pace, and I think you have better race pace than you do qualifying, if I remember correctly, from what you told me. But it's just all about seeing what these boys can do, and who has the one lap pace and who has the race pace.
It does indeed. Now, Seth, you was in the amateur league last season, obviously, and it was a league that had a variety of different paces. You had a lot of the guys at the front with Jay, Ben Bath, Tech Leader, and Unorthodox, who was very much on the pro pace. A couple of guys on sort of pro-am pace, which is now where you are. This grid looks a little closer, and it looks like it could be anybody's fight. you've also got to have that consistency tonight, haven't you, to make sure that you don't make them mistakes, because in a close field, you don't want to lose that ground on your opponents. You had a unfortunate mishap at Spa, I believe it was, last year, where your internet failure, if I remember rightly, cost you a race win. But that goes to show that, you know, one little problem, whether it's internet or incidents, and it's hard work to try and score points back. Apologies. We're at Monza, though. Joe, a track we all know very, very well here at SimPlay Motorsport, none more so than Gary 131, around the outside of AH in Season 1.
In the wet.
In the wet, and that was where we really saw Gary sort of shine and take his first championship. Dry here tonight at Monza. It's dry all week for Monza. What can these drivers do tonight? What do we expect to see from them tonight?
I mean, Monza, like I said, Monza's a quick circuit, but then it's also got that tight, twisty corners in the middle of it as well. You could be going, I don't know, I think in GT3s you're hitting about 160 down the straight, and then you got, boom, about 80-mile-an-hour corners, so you've got to make sure you hit the brake points correct. Don't take too much curb, otherwise you could be seeing a gravel trap.
Yeah, you could expect to see them in the gravel trap. Seth, Monza a track, do you like it? Do you enjoy it, or...? Yeah. It's never really great for anybody. I do believe, evening though, in the chat too, Dan Davis, our 6-time champ, Daz Automatic, not Dan. The Ripper, E. McKizzle is in there. Fury's granddad. Monica is in there as well as his tech leader. We can't hear Shoemaker in the comms. So Shoemaker, I don't know if you want to just check your settings. Just make sure all your broadcast settings are set to be able to hear your voice. I have just turned him up if you can't hear him now. Good evening to Benedict Varga as well as Edgar in the chat. Who else do we have in there? PN Motorsport as well as N Plava in the commentary booth as well. So while Seth sorts out his settings, we are awaiting Mar Albuquerque to actually return to the leave the lobby and return in his correct car, because Joey's registered in the Nissan, and as we know, you're not allowed to change cars in the championship.
No, it's a bit of a strange one. I mean, obviously, I get flashbacks every single time someone mentions a GTR. Back to Project Cars 2. I think that was Season 1. That was a bit of a nuts season, but yeah. Considering, I mean, it looks like he's even made a livery for the car. But
yeah.
If you sign up to the car, sign up with a car, you've got to stay in that car. You can't just.
Yeah, we used to obviously have the rule where you can change your car, but that went. Phew, Season 2 of Project Cars 2, if I remember rightly. It was gone long ago, wasn't it?
No, I think it was Season 3.
Either way, it's been a very long time.
Yeah, what was that? Season 2. Well, Season 3 must have been, what, about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago?
Yeah.
If not 2 years ago?
3 years ago, possibly, because we've been going 3 years. This September, we was going for 3 years.
Didn't even celebrate it, did we?
No, we didn't. Been very, very busy boys. So we are expecting Mar Albuquerque to change what car he is in. At the minute, it is Danlick, who's currently in the pit lane, currently the fastest driver out there with 5.5 minutes to go. Baralba is P2 a 10th behind. Future Revenge P3 with O a second back. Now, the interesting thing, Joe, is drivers and their preparations in this practice session. It's an hour-long practice session. The track's turned to optimum. Fuel levels could be different. So, because there's qualifying for AM this season, do we think drivers may have practiced a bit of a qualifying run? Dean's 1.3 seconds off the pace. But I always like to load the driver's streams up next to me. I had yours, PN's and Dan's up last night. Dean's just gone 1.2 off the pace. He's actually running a lot of fuel in the car. And as he returns to the pit lane, drivers obviously going to be changing their thoughts on what they want to do.
I mean, it's very possible, you know, if they've got like a qualifying setup and a race setup, they can. Free practice is a long session, so they could always just use that as a, you know, sort of race practice sort of thing, see how the race setup feels, make a few tweaks and everything. I mean, that's what I normally do. And then when it comes to the actual qualifying session, I kind of just dump the fuel, change the brakes, do all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
Save that as a new one.
As Dean's heading back out the pits now. Let's run you through the current championship standings and also a bit of maintenance tonight. Mar Albuquerque has a qualifying ban. He will not be able to qualify tonight and, well, could face penalty for being in the wrong car. McLaren, though, need one pole position for their 50th, and Danlick, John Andrews, the two drivers who could achieve that. For Ferrari, they need 4 podiums for their 50th. Well, Owen Pokemok will be hoping to get them one step closer going into tomorrow night. And there is no BMWs on the grid, but BMW, in fact, doesn't need one win for 25 because Joe got that last night, so I've obviously I've clearly forgot to delete that one, Joe. Congratulations on the 25th BMW win.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your 100th podium.
Yeah, last night was a pretty successful night.
Yeah, you are
proud of the BMW.
You're also the joint most successful driver around the Monza circuit.
Oh,
it
gets better.
It does get better. Well, Seth, just say a few words. Can we hear Seth in the chat? Let us know if you can hear him speak there in the chat. If you can't hear him, we'll hopefully try and get his settings sorted, ready for him to go though. Most successful drivers: Holty, 3 pole positions, 2 race wins. Fiori, 2 pole positions, 3 race wins. Joint most successful driver on the track. The manufacturers' standings, though, looks a little closer this year, or at the minute by 2 teams, 2 manufacturers. Bentley, 35 points clear of Audi, with Ferrari in P3. Honda, though, are 5 points on their tail. McLaren are P5, a few points further back. Porsche down in P6, Lexus down in P7, Jaguar in 8th with Aston Martin 9th, Nissan in 10th and BMW in P11 with 5 points. In terms of the Drivers' Championship here tonight, well, it looks a little like this. It is PN Motorsport, who is the current championship leader, but not here for tonight's race, which means he will surely get overtaken by Barber, who's 3 points behind him in second place. Future Revenge is 8 points back, with Pokemok 11 points off the lead. P5 is OCEM2R, 13 points off 3 of them. Albuquerque 15 points back. John Andrews is 17 off the championship lead, with Tebi AR 19 points behind. Dean Wasocki then is a few points, is not scored. He's 35 points back. Danlick is minus 35 as well because he's on no points, and Kittiers no points. He is also 35 points off of the championship lead. No constructors champion left in this one, and there is the full 36 points on offer today. There is 324 drivers championship points left on offer for all these drivers to score. Joe, Monza, we know it's a quick circuit. Although it's a 1 minute 50 lap here for these guys. We can hear Seth. That is what we're being told in the chat by two people. So that's great to see. Also, good evening to JMR Gaming and to Fury's mum. So Joe and Seth, I will ask you the same question. What car around here tonight on this grid do you think is going to be the one to watch?
Ferrari. It's on Patreon, I think.
Ferrari. But that's because you're probably in it. Joe?
See, I was going to be biased and say McLaren because it's filling me with a bit of confidence seeing that McLaren on the top step, but then I got to think I've got Ripper.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to be biased. I'm going to go Bentley. But that's only because, well, if you go back to Pro when we raced here in Season 1, Holty won 2 races in the Bentley that season. De Silva won race 1, made a cracking move on you, if I remember, on the outside at the first chicane. Late on the break. Or was it on Dan? I believe it was on one of you. And then I won race 2, so McLaren and Bentley are the 2 cars to win around here. Who's your tip for the win? Or in fact, actually, who's your tip for pole position with 17 seconds left to go?
Dean seems to have a lot of pace, considering he went from 2.7 off the bat to now 1.2.
Growing, isn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely an improving driver. But if he's got a qualifying setup with, no fuel, max wing or rear wing, and then, qualifying brakes, he could be in for a shout of taking pole position.
And if I remember rightly, Dean Wasocki actually has several pole positions to his name. In fact, let me load the stats page up. Dean Wasocki is actually high up on the list of pole positions. He has 10 pole positions to his name, so he's not shy of getting a pole position. He's actually, if he gets pole position tonight, he'll equal that of Halty, Rabbit Joe and Peaceful Explosion. He's only actually 28 off the back of Dan. So he's no slouch to get in pole position.
No, he's had a fumble, a couple. It's just, can he keep it consistent? You know, not make any mistakes.
This is the problem, isn't it? 195 race starts, 10 pole positions, and then when you look at the podiums and race wins, that's where it lacks, isn't it? 'Cause 10 pole positions, he's converted 7 of them into a podium, in which he's only converted 7 podiums into, I think it's 4 race wins. No, trying to find him on the race win list now, in which he's had 3 race wins. So you can see qualifying does seem to suit Dean a little more, but he got to convert that into the points this season, Seth.
Sorry, I was fixing my mic.
Sorry.
Yeah, I reckon. Sorry, I've completely forgotten. Skip me. Sorry.
Alright, I'll go to Joe for that question. Joe, Dean's got to convert them poles into wins and podiums.
Yeah, he's if I remember, like the lap. Well, obviously, I used to race Dean back in season 3. He was a bit of a. He had pace in qualifying, but when it came to the race, it just seemed like he had too many mistakes in it.
Yeah.
And it's like he didn't trust the car.
Okay, well, one thing which just got to cut in here, Joe. Mar Albuquerque's going out for qualifying when he is not meant to. He's been tagged on Discord, he's been messaged on Instagram, and has been messaged on his PlayStation. He's not meant to qualify, but is. Well, his night's going to go from bad to worse, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, when you get a message on every single platform, you would think you'd get a little bit of a hint, but if you sign up to the season, I mean, it says it on the sign-up sheet. Correct me if I'm wrong.
And the rules and regulations.
I mean, that just kind of shows that he hasn't really read the rules and regulations then, doesn't it?
Yeah, and he's also in the wrong car. So, already, not the start for Mar Albuquerque that he wanted, but we're out here in qualifying. Seth, tip for pole position, what driver are you going with?
For pole position, I'm going to have to go with Danlick because he had really strong practice pace, but everyone in practice, they could have been not driving to their fullest potential. But I still reckon it's going to be Danlick.
Joe?
Just a bit of a shot in the dark. I'm going to go Dean.
I'm going to look at Baraba. I feel like a 10th off. Maybe he can do something. Either way, the first car that is out on a lap is that of Pokemon in the Ferrari, the 998. And he comes into the Parabolica now for the first time. So he will be the first driver on a lap. What we're going to do from the cameraman point of view is we're going to just take a look at him with his orange and blue overalls, his nice orange, white and chrome helmet. And now we go on to his dashboard cam. And I'm just reading the chat here. Fury, don't put that pressure on me. You're the favourite for Thursday. Dan saying that I'm the favourite for Thursday. Fury for race 1, maybe Matt race 2. Matt all day long. Is Matt in the John Deere? Damn right I'm in the John Deere. So now we have a Hungarian for every race category. Very good, says Benedict Varga. And good evening, Shane, who says Dean for the win. And Dean I haven't put on the list for pole position. So Shane there then. Looking at Dean for the win. Obviously you and Shane drove the Lexus last year, Joe. You know the car very well.
I mean, I wouldn't say I know it very well. Obviously, I didn't really get. Yeah, if I knew it,
if I knew it, I'd have stayed in it.
Yeah. I mean, like I feel like I'm a bit of a. I can never think of the word, but I mean, I'm just switching cars every single season until I find something I actually like.
Yeah.
Thought I liked the Lambo, switched to the Lexus. Thought I liked the Lexus, switched to the McLaren.
And you tried the Lambo again for this season, didn't you? And it didn't seem to work.
No, I wanted to put that thing back in the burner.
Right then, so we are watching Pokemon as he comes down then towards the Ascari chicane for the first time. And through it he comes. He's currently down on his best time, it's saying, 2.6. But you can never trust that when you just come out the pit lane as they come down the back straight now then towards the Parabolica. Future Revenge still in the pits, and he falls foul of not qualifying, does Future Revenge, and that puts him in the wrong position. And it really does mean that he is struggling when he comes to the race, because we saw him last week struggle to make moves and struggle to get things done. As Pokemon then comes to the line for the first time. And what will his lap time be? It will be a 1:52.191. As we return back to the garage, the next car to the line will be that of car 74 of Kittiers, who goes 1.7 off the back. Then it will be car 38 of Mar Albuquerque, who shouldn't be qualifying, but is, and he's in the wrong car, and goes P3. Danlick then goes provisional pole. Car 56 of John Andrews comes towards the line now, as Dean Wysocki in car 14, running your teammate's number, Joe.
Yeah, seems like a bit of a inside sort of thing, maybe. No,
is that him? Well, we know he probably realises that he can't do a livery through the Lexus, so he's just probably left it. When I think you can change the number and the car wheels, can't you? Keeps a very tight line coming through the Parabolica then. Here comes Dean Wysocki. Next man on a valid lap. The car after that is car 85. That is Baraba. Future Revenge still not out there. Dean hugs it tight towards the middle of the circuit. Goes into P3, 2.6 currently off the pace. Maybe had a mistake somewhere through this lap. It will next be Baraba on a flyer. That one just goes out the window. He's just invalidated it, and we go once again for Pokemark. The current poll in the chat is Baraba to take pole position. Future Revenge has not set a lap time still and has not got a single vote in the chat. Pokemark now invalidates his lap, so we go back down to car 11 of Tebby. What can he do here? Through the Ascari. Sorry, go on, Joe.
Car, I don't know if you've seen it on Tabby's car, the little like teeth on the front.
I haven't.
On the little grill, he's got little teeth on the front.
Let's have a look when he comes through the Parabolica. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Cool. Through the Parabolica he comes now. Here comes Tebby down towards the line. He's going to cross the line now, and he goes P3, 1.4 off the back. It will next be then, it will be Danlick and Mar Albuquerque. We are going to sort of ignore what Mar Albuquerque is doing in terms of lap times here. He's in the wrong car and shouldn't be qualifying anyway. So any improvement, he moves over Kittiers when he shouldn't really. Danlick, 1.9 quicker than Pokemark at the minute. Car 56 is next. That is John Andrews on a valid lap time before Dean Wysocki again. And John Andrews goes ahead of Dean Wysocki, who's just exited the Ascari chicane and is coming down towards the Parabolica now for the first time. As here he comes here.
Come on, Dean, give me some bonus points, please.
He'll want pole as much as you. Let me tell you, we know what Dean's like. He's getting quicker, and he doesn't hesitate to tell anyone, does he? He enjoys that fact of really trying to push the limits on the car. Plus, he's got a Swiss flag on the front, and we all love Switzerland. As Dean, wow, goes P2, Joe. 9/10 off the pole time at the minute. He's really put himself on the front row of the grid here. As OCMR and 2 next to come to the line. Seth in the Ferrari. Which Ferrari is it you're driving this year? The Evo or none?
I'm driving the Evo.
There we go then. So I'm sure you'll be cheering on for Pokemark and Eva and OCO here tonight.
I did see on Danlick's open lap he binned it into the wall a little bit. So I don't know if that's going to hold him up for like damage or anything.
Right, well, I'll have to wait and see what happens as O comes to the line. He's gone at P5. It is Pokemark next on a valid lap time. Coming round the Parabolica here. Yeah, Baraba's just gone second place. We've missed Baraba crossing the line. Down to the line comes Pokemark. Doesn't improve on his lap time. Car 11, that's Tebby. He's on an invalid lap. Then we have the 72 at Danlick. So Baraba one to watch. Danlick one to watch. Dean Wysocki on an invalid lap, I believe you've just said. Yeah, he is. He's coming out the first chicane now. Did he return to the pit lane, I believe? Has he just come back out the pits?
He went wide onto the gravel, returned to pits and came back out straight away.
So new set of tyres for Dean Wysocki.
At least he's trying to get as much track time as he can.
As Danlick improves just ever so slightly. John Andrews will be next. 1.5. I tell you what, 1.5 seconds between the top 7. That is not bad at the moment. Here comes John Andrews to the line. What will he do? No improvement for him there. Car 75. That 75. Is OCEM2R, or O as we call him. He's 1.4 off the back. He was up there in practice, Seth. But again, the Ferrari, on its home soil, it wants that pole position. It wants that race win.
I'm gonna be honest here. I don't know if it was. I tried a setup, and I don't know if it was just a setup, but the Ferrari around here really isn't. It's on just rails the whole time. You have to drive it like a Formula 1 car.
Right, so let's see
really.
what the Ferrari can do in O's hand as he comes down the back straight.
You can hear the grunt of the Bentley behind them from Baraba.
Yeah, you gotta love that Bentley grunt.
Nothing beats
Does sound quite
V8
nice,
of that Lexus grunt. That V8 sounded perfect.
The best grunt is either the Aston V12 or Dan's Maserati had in the Sport 2.4 hour.
The Maserati. Ooh. Oh, OCs. And then Baraba goes pole by 2:10.
Yeah, good lap there from Baraba. Sorry, I've just received a message that I'm replying to from Albuquerque. So I'm just replying that. So Baraba goes pole by 2/10. O's now 3/10 off the pole lap. And it's Tebby, the next man on a valid one, as Danlick and Pokemon sat in the pit lane.
Come on, Dean.
Here comes Tebby then, out the Parabolica. And down the start-finish straight he goes. He's currently 1.7 off that pole position time at the minute. He stays 1.7 off that pole position time at the minute. Car 75 will be the next one to get back onto a flying lap. It is O once again. As Pokemon is doing a pit stop, so maybe just adding fuel. Another car still sat in the pit. Kittiers, Future Revenge. Me and Dan said this last week. It seemed to bite him in the bum a bit that he didn't set a qualifying time. Joe... On a short grid like this, we saw that Future Events last season looked like he was going to make some dive bombs, but bails out of them. This could hurt him again here.
If he's trying to make moves going into corners, but then backing out of them, he either doesn't trust the car, or he doesn't trust the person he's racing.
Yeah.
And if you're going to make a move up the inside, and a late one at that, you've got to commit to it. Because if someone sees you coming and they give you the room, then they know you're there and they give you the respectful racing route, which is fair enough. That's racing, but and again, if someone turns in on you because they don't see you because it's a late lunge, that's racing.
Oh, had a bit of a back end slide coming through the parabolic there. I think that's going to hurt his chances on this lap. He comes down towards the start finish line. Baraba is right behind him. The track is getting quicker. Baraba to the line now. Does he improve? No, he does not. Next up is Dean Wasocki. Seth, the track's getting quicker, it's getting more rubbered in, and drivers are going faster and faster and faster.
I reckon it's only going to get faster as the race goes on. Yeah. So
Dean, down the start line.
Issues.
Yep, no, you're fine. You sort your issues, buddy, and hopefully get them sorted. Pokemon P5 at the minute. Dean did not improve his time there, so it's Pokemon who is the one on a flying lap at the moment. Next driver to it.
I've noticed with Dean, I just watched him coming into the first chicane. He brakes really early but doesn't downshift.
I think he's auto gears. Don't think he's manual gears. As Pokemon invalidates the lap. If you want to see Dean Wasocki stream, now Dean is the only driver I know that is streaming on Twitch right now. Go over to his Twitch, Dean Wasocki, DeanWysocki. If you want to watch Dean's POV, obviously we're trying to promote driver streams as well as our own. If you obviously like what you see here, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and hit that bell to be notified when we go live. If you want some more GT3 action, Pro-Am is back on the grid tomorrow night. It is going to be myself and Benedict Varga in the commentary box for that one, and then Thursday night myself and Joe will be back on the track where Dan Davis and PM Motorsport will be bringing you the action of the Pro Series around Monza. And Joe, let's talk of a rumour about our possible first ever female driver on the SimPlay grid, maybe in the AM category.
Oh, what good old E.
McIzzle.
The one the one that's seen us doing it and then bought every single DLC plus the game.
Yeah.
And is now looking at the wheels. If she's doing the times that she's doing on controller, I think on a wheel she's going to be pretty quick.
Let's see what she can do. Dean into the Parabolica. What can he do from here then? Let's see.
Now this could just be me, Matt, but
he's not improved.
Surely auto gears sort of hinders you a bit.
Does a little bit, yeah.
Because I don't know if you're listening to it. Or is it your manual? Because the gear shift sounded different going into turn 1 that time than it did first.
Unless he's kind of doing it sort of manually if it's not downshifting in time, but as I'm on auto anyway. I don't know. Well, we can ask Dean if we speak to him later on. John Andrews into the Parabolica. 1 minute 15 left to qualifying. So for drivers currently in the pit lane, they are going to struggle. They're not going to get another lap time in. So everybody's done here apart from Dean, Tebby and John Andrews. John Andrews will get one more lap in. He crosses the line and doesn't improve there. He only needed 15 thousandths of a second to improve. Seth, Tebby will get one more running, but it's going to be close here.
It's the track's only getting better, and if he's got some clear track in front of him, I reckon if he really pushes this lap, I reckon he can get into maybe 4th place.
Well, he's not going to get out there for a lap. Tebby down 6th place at the minute. Needs to find 3 attempts to get Pokemon on an invalid lap. He's coming into the Parabolica.
Takes a very wide line.
He will get one more lap in then. Car 75 is O. What will he do?
It's going to be close between if O gets another lap or not.
Yeah. O is not going to get another lap, so he finishes, and it is only going to be P3 for him. Dean Wasocki returned to the pit, so he is also done. Tebby has just invalidated his lap, so it is only down to John Andrews then before qualifying will finish here. So Future Revenge, once again, will not be in the best position for qualifying. Kit Diaz will start in 9th. Albuquerque will be in 8th, even though he's in the wrong car, and if it doesn't change the Nissan, it will basically be disqualification from the whole event for this week. John Andrews, currently P7. We are just awaiting him to finish qualifying before we can input the final results and see what he can do. Into the Parabolica now. He goes round the Parabolica now and comes down the start straight. Can John Andrews find that little bit of time he needs to get ahead of Tebby? To the line he comes. No, he cannot. He only 6 thousandths of a second outside that. So as we press options and return to garage to get ready into the commentary box, DJ Phil says Dean for the win. So I tell you what, we always do the top 4 on the poll for race winner. Race winner. Let's get the poll out before we ask our commentators. So it is Baraba from Danlick, OCEM2R, and then Dean Wysocki, my mate. Right, that will be the grid order. And that is also, just to say, Baraba's first ever pole position in SimPlay Motorsport. So fantastic for him to get his first pole position. Seth, a milestone that hopefully you can get this season.
I hope so. I'm a bit busy with life at the moment, but
yeah.
I'm trying to practice as much as I can.
As well, to point out, that is Bentley's 31st... No, that's wins. That is Bentley's 9th pole position. 9 pole positions for the Bentley. When you think, if it was driven that Bentley, myself, you had a couple of guys in Am, you had Holty and Argent, 9 pole positions, that seems mental. Saying that, though, actually, when we think back to Season 1, Joe, Shane took a lot of pole positions in the Lamborghini, didn't he?
Season 1, is that... What am I thinking Season 1 Project Cars? Jesus.
No, Season 1 ACC.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Season 1 ACC, yeah, Shane did take a cut. He was teamed up with Bryn in the Lambo, if I remember, was it?
20 seconds.
Pinkins thing? No. That's you and Keegan. But yeah, no. Shane was very quick in that Lamborghini.
Right, the driver's getting readied up. Everybody is ready to go. But for more Albuquerque, his night goes from bad to worse because he's in the pit lane and has obviously missed the start. He's now going to be a lap down, so that goes from bad to worse for him. But Baraba leads us away in this one. Do you think, Fury, that PN will miss the chance of being out there tonight?
I mean, he has a... Tebby's almost dropped it. Was pulling a me then. No, I think PN's definitely missed a good opportunity for some points in this.
Possibly another race win to his name.
He's in a Bentley, isn't he?
Yeah.
and Bentley's on pole, so if he was here, he could have had some really good points. Maybe on pole, if not second, third, in that sort of area. But
I agree. Right.
It's a shame he's not here, but.
So, in the chat, the current poll at the minute, Joe, race winner?
I was going to go Dean, but now I'm looking at it, I think I'm going to have to go Danlick.
Danlick, okay. Seth, race winner?
Danlick too. He had really good practice pace. Just barely missed out in qualifying.
Do you know what? I'm going to back him. I'm going to go Dean. I'm going to back him. He's got experience. Oh, you don't have 195 race starts at SimPlay Motorsport without having some experience. He is, I believe, one of the next closest drivers to reach the milestone. No, sorry, apologies. It's Kelly who will reach his milestone, not next week, but the week after at Imola for race 1, where he will reach that milestone. I miss Imola now. I'm quite good today. I was going to miss the Hungara ring, but because we push it back a week, I miss Imola now. That's a shame. Took pole last time he was at Imola. Don't know if you knew that, Joe. On Project Cars 2 as well.
Oh. Let's say if we're on about ACC, I don't remember him.
We've not done Imola yet. Right then, so these drivers all coming round. Dean, the most experienced driver out there on the grid tonight, like I say, 195 starts. He will go above Welshie in terms of them race starts. No milestones for race wins or pole positions or podiums tonight in terms of driver stats. In terms of cars, well, McLaren didn't get their 50th pole, so they'll be looking to get that one tomorrow night, as well as Ferrari will be hoping to get at least 1 or 2 podiums to get that down to closer to the 50 mark, as well as they're looking to get onto the back of the Honda. Bentley are sort of best of the rest after everybody else in terms of podiums. They can, though, if both Bentleys get on the podium here, they can move to 86 podiums in GT3 racing, and we'll see what will happen later on tonight. Bentley's leading the way of Baraba. It's a slow outlap, this, lads.
Yeah, I'm
there's
trying
also
not to fall asleep right now.
I know the gap must have closed down a bit now. There seemed to be a big gap a minute ago from Tevi down to Pokemart, but they seem to have closed it down now.
They start to line up in double file. Now, Dean's got to get alongside O.
I think Tevi's having a bit of a moment right now.
Looks like he's doing a bit of a fury. He looks like he's losing rear a little bit on his outlap. You're good at that one, Joe, aren't you?
Spinning it on the outlap.
Spinning it on the outlap.
I have not done that recently, thank you very much. I would like to have
Do you remember that whole ordeal on the suggestions page?
What? Having me start from the back?
I think it was discussed.
What? Having me start from the back?
Well, if you span on the formation lap, yes.
What, just
And
me?
then-
No, anybody.
No, there was a lot of confusion and people got angry. Is that page still up? Oh yeah.
Right, Baraba then, coming to the start line now. For the first time this evening, and the only time this evening, the race start is initialised, and we are green and go for the start of the race. Future Revenge and Kittiers has started really far back. Owen Danlick already making this 3 wide. And I'll tell you what, Dean Wasaki might fancy making this 4 wide. Paraba's dropped behind the Ferrari already. Here comes Tebby down into turn 1. Who's going to be brave? Who's going to send it up the inside? Dean and Tebby just touching a little bit there. Baraba has to cut turn 1 and cuts turn 2 massively as he goes across the grass. Dean lights up the rear. I think he's gone round, has he? Danlick also had a moment. Dean's had a spin. So it is Baraba. It is O from Baraba, from Tebby right up the rear end of Baraba. In fact, he's pulled to the inside line, around the curve, the outside of Curva Grande, up towards the inside. In fact, gets the move done on Baraba before turn 3, and Tebby moving up the order. It is Danlick, who is currently P4 from Pokemart. John Andrews up 6th, Kitty is 7th, Future Revenge 8th, Dean Wasaki after he spin down in 9th, and more Albuquerque. Wrong car. And he's down at the back of the grid with a lap down. Good evening to Jamie Brazier and Sutty Apex. As Dean now looking to make a move on Future Revenge. We saw Future Revenge attack last week. He's now got to defend a little bit back further forward, though. It is Baraba, but no turn 1 chaos in terms of drivers hitting each other. As Dean up the inside of Future Revenge. Good move there for Dean Wasaki, Joe.
Yeah, going back to turn 1, I do think Tebby clipped the grass and then slid across and tapped the side of Dean. That's why Dean went up into the grass. But then coming into turn 2, I seen Danlick have a spin, and then Dean went on the gravel, lost the rear of the car, and tapped the back of Danlick.
Tebby very wide at Ascari there and into the gravel trap, and
where is he? Oh,
he's just coming down the parallel. Yeah, Danlick's really gaining on him because Baraba's got past. He pulls to that inside now. Tebby's lost out to Danlick. He's lost out to Baraba. Pokemon might fancy his chance here. Tebby's going to try and keep it strong around the outside. We know the outside line can work. It's not going to work there, though, as Kitty is trying to gain on John Andrews as well. The pit lane is open. It doesn't mean the pit window is open at the moment. And so far, so good at the minute. Baraba did an extra Season 1, Turn 1, as Pokemon now looking around the outside down to the first chicane on Tebby. They just touched doors a little bit there. Tebby gives him the room back, and Pokemon, job done. How late will Tebby be on the brakes? Pokemon nearly into the back of Danlick there, and that was mighty close, and he's had to go straight on at the chicane as Kitties looks to gain another place, and Pokemon rejoins right exactly where he was. Kitties and Dean Wasaki gets past John Andrews, and Future Revenge is going to try and go around the outside at the moment, but cannot get the job done. John Andrews tucks back inside as well. That was very close, Seth, to Pokemon rear-ending a driver in front.
It's been pretty tame for first couple of laps of Monza, but that was quite interesting to watch, actually.
It was indeed. Already, just to say, he's got a 3.3 second gap to Baraba. Danlick's then 2 seconds behind. Tebby within a second of him. Then it's Pokemon, Kittiers, Dean Wasaki, John Andrews, Future Revenge. Tebby down pretty close together, Joe, as Danlick's starting to pull away from him.
Yeah, I mean, there was obviously a couple of accidents, and I don't know what's happened between John Andrews and stuff, but John Andrews obviously must have made some mistake, I guess, in turn 1 or something, and then just fallen off the back slowly.
Yeah, slowly.
Future Revenge at 5/10.
Yeah. The interesting one is Tebby has got Pokemon gaining on the back of him. He's got Kittiers within a second. Dean's just over a second to Kittiers. All this for a top 4 place at the moment. The podium 3 starting to run away as Pokemon moves to the outside of Tebby. Can't get it done. He's gone a little wide there. This could allow Kittiers to have a look. Who's gone even wider, which could allow Dean Wasaki to have a look. But Pokemon now gets a good run underneath. He tucks underneath Tebby. That Ferrari gets a good slingshot out the corner and is down towards turn 1. He's already got the move done on Tebby. Thank you, Mama, for the carrots, he says. And Pokemon, job done. But you get the feeling, Seth, here, Tebby fancies his chances being late on the brakes. We saw how late Pokemon was. Tebby does it once again, and that is a great move. In the background as well, Dean Wasaki looked up the inside of Kittiers, couldn't get the move done, but no contact made. Moves being made here, Seth, in this early part of the race.
This is riveting to watch. I reckon this is going to go on for like the whole race. It's going to be for the whole championship. It's going to be close between them, I think.
It is. To watch. Yeah, it is indeed. Pokemon looking left, right, each way to a Sunway, down to the second chicane as Kitty is looking up the inside of Pokemon. Can't get the job done. Dean just breaks a little deep to avoid the back of Kitty is there. And now look, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a train here from 4th to 9th, all on the back of each other. And it is Tebby holding them all up. O's gaps coming down slightly. Dean just running a little wide. He's now got to worry about John Andrews on the back of him as Kitty is looking up the inside of Pokemon. Doesn't get the move done, but also no contact made as they come down the back straight. This is now Dean, who Kitties didn't get a good run, and Dean Wasaki's now looking for a move on the Porsche driver. Dean up the inside coming to Ascari. That Lexus is not bad in a straight line, and Dean Wasaki moved on towards Ascari. Good move, Joe again. Dean's making places here. Oh, Pokemon's off as well, apologies. And Dean gets another place. Kittiers and John Andrew around in the background, but Dean Wasaki gets another place. He's up to P5. Kittiers and John Andrews round, and Kittiers looks big damage on the front of that Porsche, Joe.
Oh, he's dropped it again. Oh, okay, he's kept out of the wall, that's good.
John Andrews slow to get going. Here comes Mar Albuquerque then. This will be interested to see what he can do.
John Andrews looks like he has more damage.
Yeah, looks like the bonnet looks slightly lifted. More Albuquerque's in the wrong car, gets the move done there. But now then, it is O who leads the race, 3.2 clear of Baraba, who's 2.2 clear of Danlick. Tebby has now got to worry about Dean Wasaki and Alexis, who really, he's not had much track time, Joe, in the serve we've seen in practice. We normally see Dean online in the headset parties and things quite a bit. He's not been on as much. Obviously, we play a bit of FIFA and other games with Dean. He's not doing bad in the Lexus.
He's not doing bad, no. Considering, obviously, if he's not been on testing as much as the rest of these guys, and he's just kind of come in tonight, tested, and gone straight out there, he's doing well for himself.
He is doing so well indeed. So gap to Danlik to Baraba has come down a little bit this lap. Dean's now got Future Revenge trying to hunt him down as well, as so has Tebby, because Dean's getting a little closer. If Tebby just makes a little mistake through Lesmo 1 there, into Lesmo 2, or as it was described to me earlier, the right-hand swoopy corner. That's how it was described to me.
Danlik's gaining on Baraba.
Danlik is gaining on Baraba. 1.7 is the gap. We go to Danlik now. 1.7. What do we think to Lesmo 2 being renamed the right-hand swoopy corner?
It's an interesting one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's, I suppose that's just kind of a rundown of what our parties can be like.
That is a rundown of what our parties can be like. Right, we was watching Danlik getting closer to Baraba, but we're not now. We've changed back because Dean Wysocki was 1.3 off the back of Tebby. He's no longer 1.3 off the back of Tebby. That gap to the naked eye, Seth, looks under a second. Dean is on a bit of a mission.
I'm going to say a 7 tenths. That looks at least 6, 7 tenths.
Just looking at... As Danlik's actually lost 7 tenths to Tebby, to Danlik. Danlik's lost 7 tenths to Baraba. Dean is within 6 tenths of Tebby now, down towards turn 1. As Dean actually sets a 52.6. That's a good lap time for Dean Wysocki. And the Lexus can't get the move done. Tebby goes a little deep. Dean just a bit wrong through turn 1 and 2 there. And that is interesting.
The Audi to me just seems like it's very slow in a straight line. Because
yes.
Mark and everyone else seem to just
that
fly
is
past
what we
like
want to hear for Thursday night, Joe. Audi, Ripper, if you're listening, Audi slow in a straight line. That's what we want to hear. But it's not just Dean getting closer to Tebby. It's Future Revenge getting closer to Dean.
This is going to become a three-way fight again, isn't it?
I reckon so. Don't know what's happened to... Oh, Pokemon had the spin. And we'll see what happens. But Dean looking on Tebby now. That Lexus looks like it's good through the middle sector and the Ascari part of the lap, Joe. You've driven the Lexus and have a bit of knowledge in it. Where would you say around here the Lexus is going to outdo the Bentley and the Audi?
I know the Lexus has got pretty good straight line speed, and if I'm looking at it, it seems to be the Bentley and the Audi out of all the cars on the grid tonight are the ones that are struggling the most in a straight line. It seems to me that Dean is just... Oh, is he... Oh! Oh, he's held it.
Yeah, very wide for Ascari. I've just looked on his stream. All sideways as he bounced over the Ascari curb, and now he's got Future Revenge, who's got a great run on him.
Future Revenge followed him.
Yeah,
through the
I don't think Future lost as much top speed as Dean did, but Dean manages to cover off Future Revenge here, and this is that inconsistency of Dean Wysocki that we've seen for seasons.
Yeah.
Seth, as the gaps start to pull out a little bit, it's quietened down a bit, but there's still these little battles raging on here.
I mean, it's Monza. People are going to like race hard on it, but as we saw a couple laps ago, the harder you race, the earlier on, the more accidents there are, the more races there are.
A little bit wide into exit turn 2.
Yeah, he's done that a couple of times now, as Dean's really now got to worry about Future Revenge on the back of him, really hassling the back of that Lexus. Look at the size of the tank versus the Lexus, and I see why you couldn't see past me last season, Joe, in the Lexus. The size difference is massive. Future Revenge looks to the inside and doesn't think of sending one, bud. As Dean goes a little deep.
Oh, he's looking to the inside.
Yeah, Dean got a horrible run through the second chicane, but look at that, Joe. Again, Future Revenge backs out of it. This is what he did last week. This is what he did last season.
He was literally ahead of Dean coming into that corner.
Yeah.
It just seemed to be that he didn't... I wonder if it's because he doesn't trust the inside line.
You can really abuse these cabs.
You can, especially in the Bentley. The problem is he did this last week, Joe. He just didn't have the confidence. Look, he's already braked earlier than Dean. You saw on the camera angle change there. He's braked a lot earlier than Dean. Going into the Ascari chicane.
Down to the run of Parabola.
Well, that's better from Dean through there. Right, we're going to jump back to the front of the pack as well. We'll keep our eyes. One of you keep your eye on Dean and Future.
And Baraba Baraba.
Someone keep an eye on Dean and Future. We're watching Danlik and Baraba. Baraba, second place last season.
O's made a mistake as well. That gap's
Danlik's
from
making a
3.2
move.
down
Oh,
to
he's gone
2.1.
off. He's gone wide.
Yeah, where did he go wide?
On the final corner. I don't know the corner names. Let me get them up.
Parabolic.
So Future Revenge has lost a bit of time. Dan as well has lost a bit of time.
That gap's come down between O and Baraba though.
Yeah, 2.1. It was 3.2. So this is going to be interesting to see here. Future Revenge, 7 tenths to Dean Wysocki. Dean needs to get this second... did he just clip the gravel there? Dean 3.9 to Tebby. We'll keep our eyes on that gap. Future Revenge, now has a run on Dean through the Curva Grande. But Dean's Lexus seems a lot quicker in a straight line than Future Revenge's Bentley.
Yeah, it seems to be the Audi and the Bentley are the two cars that are really struggling in a straight line compared to all the others that are on track. I think the quickest in a straight line from what I can see so far is definitely the Ferrari.
It looks it at the minute because Pokemok's really reeling these two in as well. More Albuquerque's ahead of John Andrews. John Andrews, that is a lap down though. Future Revenge.
Tebby made a mistake.
He has. Pit window's just opened as well, so are we going to start to see drivers diving into the pit lane? But for Tebby, he has made a mistake. He's made another one. Oh, Dean!
Oh!
Dean avoids him, and he's caught Future Revenge. And how has Dean Wysocki avoided Tebby there?
Precision?
Luck.
Brown pants?
Mashallah.
Yeah, he's in his pits. I'm gonna guarantee he's gonna ask for a new pair of pants.
Yeah.
100%.
I reckon he will as well. Pokemok is now going to gain on the back of Future Revenge, who's going to have damage to his car. And this is the problem with Future Revenge not qualifying. He's now in this position.
Look at the Ferrari just gaining a straight line.
It's a beast.
It is a beast.
She sounds lovely.
Pokemok's gone very, very wide there, can I just say. But not only that, yeah.
Future Avengers piston.
Future Avenger, first one into the pits. Will Tebby pit? Tebby is very, very wide out the parabolic. A few of these drivers look like they're going to get warnings.
Tebby seems to have a lot of damage on that R8.
Yeah. Kitius stays out as well. John Andrews, what can he do? More Albuquerque being dropped by... More Albuquerque pits. He's dropping John Andrews. John Andrews is coming in. Get out, slow down, John! I thought there was nearly another Zolder moment there. And we all know what happened at Zolder.
I don't.
Dan got a warning. Dan got a warning for being 10 seconds slower under the pit window. Now, what has happened out front? Because Danlik has overtaken Baraba and they've both gone wide at the second Lesmo, or as it's now being renamed, the right-hand swoopy corner.
Can we just get a diagram of Monza and remove Lesmo 2 and just put right-hand swoopy corner?
Do you know the best thing is, right? I think I've still got Monza coming up in my Racing Unleashed season. You know, my job. I better not go there and call it a right-hand swoopy corner.
Ooh,
Could you imagine what they'd say? Caught 38, Albuquerque, 30-second stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He also didn't do his mandatory pit stop, so...
He's stopped at the exit of the pit.
Well, he's returned to the pit lane. There we go.
That's not allowed.
Well, he's got to come back out.
Back racing, then
Danlik's coming in.
Danlik's coming into the pits. Him and Baraba was very wide. O's gap's increased once again. Now, when does Dean Wysocki decide to box?
I don't think Future Revenge repaired his damage.
Does it still look bad? It's on the other side of the car, isn't it?
I think it was a little bit on the front as well, but I can't really tell.
I think he's repaired it. I think he's repaired it.
Well, we've just got flashbacks of Silverstone last
Azim McKizzle says she's just got back in time for the swoopy corner.
Right-hand swoopy corner.
She knows. John Andrews is about to leave the pit lane, so O stays out, Baraba stays out, Dean stays out, Pokemort stays out, Tebby stays out. They've all put a lap on John Andrews.
Kitty's is coming in.
Kitias is into the pits. So Danlik, past Baraba, made a mistake, comes into the pits.
Kitius coming into the pits.
This is the time of the race with lack of cars on the grid where it just gets a bit of lull. So I think it's time to promote what's coming up this week. Don't forget, we are live tomorrow night. Myself and Benedict Varga live for the Pro-Am action, where they will be around the Monza circuit, and join Dan Davis and PM Motorsport live on Thursday for the Pro Series, where myself and Joe will be on the track. I'd love to say that Shoemaker will be on the track tomorrow, but he's away tomorrow, so misses that one. No racing next week. Let's not forget, we have pushed the season back 1 week due to lack of commentators on Thursday night. One of the commentators is away for personal things outside of it. We always stream our races here at SimPlay Motorsport, so therefore we cannot get anybody else to stream it, so that one has been pushed back. So 2 weeks for people to practice Imola. The weather will not be locked in on Thursday night as normal. It'll be locked in for the Thursday after, and O is going to carry on his way, as does Baraba. Dean Wasocki 21.9 seconds off the back. What do we think he could do in this one? Can he get that podium off of Danlick? Danlick's at a moment possibly a bit of damage. He's way behind Tebby and doesn't look massively stable in that McLaren at the minute.
It depends how much damage Dean has on that car. It doesn't look like he's got a lot, but I know the Lexus does not really like any damage at all. But if Dean can keep it pretty consistent, I don't know, maybe come in a bit early, repair the damage, new set of tyres, go out, keep it as clean as he possibly can, he might be in the running for a P3.
Tebby's in the pits.
Tebby is in the pits, and so Danlick should get past Tebby. Future Revenge, we'll see where he comes out in relation to Tebby. Obviously, them two had an incident together. Kitty is ahead of John Andrews, as Mar Albuquerque is still stationary at the moment. And it is all about when the race leader pits then. Gap, though, to him, and he's coming down, Seth. It was 3.2 over the line. It's now 2.9. And as they come through Sector 2, it's now 2.5. So Baraba's catching.
It's, I really hope it's like the last couple of laps. It's just a massive fight. Good way to end a 45-minute race.
Danlick 29 seconds behind Tebby when he went through the sector time. So Tebby's still in the pits. Danlick's now at turn 1. So this is interesting to note that Tebby to Future Revenge. Tebby's now away. He's actually going to do Future Revenge by a mile. He's off the limiter. Future Revenge is only at the Parabolica, so he's gone. Tebby's gone. Great pit stop.
Did he repair his damage at all?
I don't think so. He's about to be lapped as well. We've lost Mar Albuquerque. So Tebby didn't repair his damage. And look at where Tebby's came out. He moved straight out of Baraba's way. And that then means that Baraba 1.6 now to OCEM2R out front. Gap's coming down, Joe.
Yeah, it's coming down quite a bit, isn't it? Considering the Ferrari seemed to be the strongest one in a straight line, I wonder if he's starting to struggle on them tyres and the brakes.
Well, let's see. We know the Bentley seems to grow stronger in the race and as the race goes on. So let's see what will happen as this race does go on. But it is from Baraba. Gap up to 1.7. Tebby nearly lost it all over the curve there. Pokemark to Dean 6.6. Danlick to Pokemark. So Danlick's at the Parabolica. Pokemon is coming up to complete Sector 1. We'll see what the gap is. Pokemon to Dean Wasocki in just a few moments' time. It's 5.6, so actually Pokemon catching Dean.
That Ferrari just seemed really strong around her. As Kitias misses his braking completely, cuts the corner.
Well, he's coming under pressure now from Baraba. The gap's to the second, and Baraba now looks a little closer in the second. Gets a good run through the Ascari chicane, and down the back straight comes Baraba on who is going to think of maybe an undercut here. It's going to be interesting to keep our eyes on as through into the Parabolica they come now. Has a massive twitch on the Ferrari, and this could allow Baraba to tuck underneath. It does allow Baraba to tuck underneath. Is any of them thinking of boxing? No, Baraba tucks back into the slipstream of the car ahead. Dean's actually brought his gap down to 27 seconds to these two. It was 29, I believe, earlier. And Owen Baraba carry on their way. We'll keep our eyes on this fight.
I wonder if Baraba had a mistake because O started sliding. I think Baraba touched the grass on the inside a bit and had to let off. Oh, Tebby. Ooh.
Yeah, Tebby. missed his braking a little
Can't
bit
tell
there.
if that was lagging or
Yeah, his
not.
Wi-Fi.
Does it look
You
like
can see on the little bar.
it looked like he was just gonna go straight off and do a Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. Dean's in the pits.
Dean is in the pits then, so let's see what he can do here.
Only seems to have built the gap back up.
He has a little bit, gaps back up to a second then, so see what happens here. It's down towards the back straight they come. Right, so Pokemon didn't pit. Where's Danlick in relation to Dean? Danlick's at the Parabolica.
Danlick's going to be
Danlick's going to get past Dean. Dean's going to be well ahead of Tebby. Tebby's only at the Scary chicane, or coming up to a Scary. Dean still in that pit lane. Pokemon at the second chicane. Danlick goes past Dean Wasaki then. So that is Dean off the podium at the minute, but he's pitted about halfway through this race, Joe. So clearly a strategy from Dean where he's gone and pitted halfway through.
He's going to have a few lap fresher tyres compared to everyone else that's already pitted. So towards the end of the race, he might be alright tyre set wise.
Yeah, that's not going to be a bad thing for Dean Wasaki.
Dean's currently pulling away.
So Tebby into Parabolica. Dean Wasaki is off the limiter now. And Tebby has exited the Parabolica. We're halfway through the race as Dean comes out of the pits. O is about to lap Dean. Baraba has decided to put himself into the box. Dean will have to move out of O's way here. And in fact, O gets the job done. Dean breaks a little earlier to let O go. But O obviously has to make that pit stop in this race. Will Pokemon pit?
Baraba's in.
So Baraba into the pits. What about Pokemon? Because he comes round the Parabolica. Danlick now then is towards Ascari. So Dean's a long way behind Danlick. Oh, that's quick. That's going to be a penalty.
That is 100% going to be a penalty.
That is going to be a penalty, and that has ruined his chances of catching down Dean Wasaki, who is now just got to try and stick with O and follow O through. Tebby 5.5 behind. Future Revenge down in 7th. Kittiers is 8th, and John Andrews is down in 9th. He's 10 seconds behind Kittiers, and they've unlapped themselves from Pokemon to Baraba. That could put behind Kittiers, and they've unlapped themselves from could put him in some trouble.
Has made a mistake at turn 1.
Yes, he's gone very wide, and that's going to give John Andrews a chance of gaining here. An absolute dream.
He was on the inside of turn 1.
Right, Baraba's away. Danlick's leaving Parabolica. Baraba not yet off the pit limiter. He's off the pit limiter now. Here comes Danlick. Danlick is going to fly past Baraba here. Down in towards turn 1. Baraba is well in front. Danlick will be able to see him. When do they hit their brakes? I tell you what, Baraba might just have this one done. They hit their brakes now. He's braked so much later. Swoops around the outside of Baraba. Pretty much come to a stop to let Danlick get past it. So job done. Baraba up another place. Danlick up another place as Pokemon is now leaving the pits. Where's Dean Wasaki? Well, I'll tell you what, Pokemon has jumped Dean Wasaki, an absolute peach. But as we expected, 30-second stop-go penalty.
I'm not going to lie, when Pokemon was coming into the pit, come out of the Parabolica, I thought he was going to keep going, because he was going at least, he's full throttle.
So O comes into the pits. Sorry, Joe, carry on.
Yeah, Pokemon just seemed to just choose to pit last minute.
Yeah. It's not going how he wanted it to, and at the minute, Danlick is trying to defend from Baraba, but O is in, so that releases Dean Wasaki, who was just behind O, and now, I suppose the thing for Dean is here, if he catches Pokemon, he doesn't really need to worry about passing him, because he's got that penalty.
Yeah, he doesn't need to fight it Pokemon too hard if Dean catches onto the back of him. But you never know.
You never know.
Find some rocket fuel in that Lexus, you never know. He might just be able to get past him in a straight line. But I think the Ferrari's definitely got the straight line speed over that Lexus.
Well, let's see what the Ferrari can do. Oh, he's out the pits. He's not yet off the limiter, though. This could be close, you know, for the race lead between all three of them. Oh, he's off the limiter now. And here comes Danlick. And here comes then Baraba. Oh, is already out of the pit lane. How close is he to turn 1? He's quite a way away. But Danlick is going to be a lot closer than the 3 seconds he was behind before he pitted. There is O, who misses his braking. Danlick goes even further. Baraba now should surely capitalise a little bit here. Now, will Pokemon come back into the pit for his stop-go penalty? Danlick is now right on the rear of O. Let's see Pokemon. Will he come in for that penalty? Dean has closed the gap to him, and he is now, yes, going to come straight in.
Right, get it stopped this time, Pokemon.
Get it stopped, get it slowed down, get it in. It is. Future Revenge gaining on Tebby, but the battle for the front, it is O from Danlick, from Baraba. 3 for the lead, 3 different manufacturers as well.
I think shouldn't Danlick be a bit further back?
He should have been.
Well,
the game would have gave him the warning for it, so he's got to be on his, his last legs with all these warnings.
I wonder how many people are on that last warning.
I saw last night that Dan was running the limits. Dean's had what? Because we only know that Dean is streaming, because no one else is. Well, it came up on my phone saying that Dean was streaming as Danlick has a look on there. No one put it in Discord if they were streaming, so we don't know. But we know for a fact that Dean's got 1, because I can see it on his stream. So it's going to be interesting. Pokemon still in the pit here. This is going to take some time. Is he yet moving? No, he's not. He is now. Kitties has gone past. John Andrews has got past Pokemon from 4th to last. Future Revenge is gaining on the back of Tebby, but we're watching Danlick and Barabaru all make a little mistake. Stop go cleared. Let's go down to the Future Revenge battle as they come through the right-hand swoopy corner.
John Andrews made a mistake.
So John Andrews made a mistake. What's he done, Joe, as we watch his fight?
Seemed to be he made a mistake at the exit at turn 2. It just seemed to bog down the car completely, so he just struggled to get it going again.
Future Revenge and Tebby are having a scrap right now, and it is violent. Future Revenge has gone off.
Yeah, he's just ran a little wide there, did Future Revenge. The top 3 separated by 1.2 seconds. I tell you what, what's the gap to Dean? Dean's coming around the parabolica now. It looks a big gap at the moment. We'll have to wait and see. As down to the start line, in fact, they've just gone through sector 1, so Dean is a whole sector behind the front 3. But if these 3 battle, Joe, and have a big incident with each other, Dean could be sitting pretty as there's a car in front just gone off. That is Pokemon who's gone off ahead of these 3. So not only have they got that traffic, they're all battling as well.
Oh!
Oh! Oh!
Future Revenge was looking on the inside, then swooped straight to the outside.
And yet again, braked earlier and sits behind once again, Joey. Just cannot get these moves done. As Baraba and Danlick having a massive scrap. O puts a lap on Pokemon. Baraba's looking to the inside of Danlick as Danlick's about to lap Pokemon. And Baraba has to back out of that. Can't get it done. And Danlick there can sigh a bit of relief as they manage to come up to the back marker. But the front 3 really fighting
Baraba
here.
has, though.
Right on the rear of the McLaren, pushing it through. I'd say this is what's going to happen Wednesday, but you're going to be behind me, Joe.
You mean Thursday?
Wrong category.
That would have been an insult.
It'll be Sutty and Kelly. Sutty and Kelly, this will be on Wednesday night. As around the parabolica, Baraba looks to tuck underneath of Danlick now, and he's going to get this job done. Is he? The side-by-side, the Bentley power, the tank versus the McLaren, and the Bentley looks like its grunt is just pulling him slightly in front of Danlick here. Who's going to have the better top speed? They are pretty even, down towards turn 1. Who dares break the latest? We saw Danlick already cut turn 1. He's braked later than Baraba again, and Danlick stays in front. Drop down to Tebby and Future Revenge as they come through Ascari now.
Danlick made a mistake of touching the gravel on the exit of turn 2. Baraba seems to have caught back onto the back of him.
Right, we go back to him because Future Revenge is nowhere near as they come through the Curva Grande down towards the second chicane. You get the feeling, Seth, that you've just got to lunge up the inside at some point.
I mean, from my experience from Kyle Army, that's gotten me some penalties, but yeah, it's so irresistible.
Is it me or does Kyle Army feel like a tighter track than Monza?
No. Some sections, yes. Some sections.
There seems to be a lot more tight corners at Kyle Army.
The corners are a lot tighter, I believe, yeah, but I think the track's wider.
Yeah, coming up to T1, it's M27.
I mean, to be honest, Matt, we should know this. We've literally done about 10 hours total.
We've done a week. Oh my God, I was so happy at the end of that Friday night 3-hour race we did to just be like, right, bye, job done. Don't have to see Kyle Army for God knows how long.
See you next year.
Yeah, Hopefully not. Hopefully. Besides, I'm that sick of it after last week. And I only did 2 nights of racing. You did 3.
Did I?
Monday night, Thursday night, Friday night.
I wouldn't even classify Thursday as race night. I had that many mistakes and that many crashes. I wouldn't even classify it as a race.
Right.
Bumper car.
Oh, Danlick and Baraba have all caught each other back up a little here. Let's go down to Tebby and Future Revenge then. That gap's still half a second. So the leaders are all coming back on. I'll tell you what, Danlick, very brave on the brakes. Look how much he's caught into turn 1.
Yeah, that McLaren's giving me a lot of hope the way Danlick's driving it, and maybe it'll be you behind me, huh?
I'll be over to
you.
No.
Yeah.
Unless I'm coming round to lap you.
Oh, it's like that.
It's like that, Joe. It's like that, Joe. Right, so it is O from Danlick from Baraba. Baraba's just lost a little pace here as they come to the second chicane. Danlick looking racy at the moment. Dean Wasocki is P4 with Tebby P5. He's got Future Revenge on the back of him. Kitty is down in 7th on his debut in GT3 with John Andrews 8th. There is his McLaren and Pokemon bringing up the rear after his penalty. But he's 22.9 seconds off the back of John Andrews with 12 minutes left. He's got to go about 2 seconds a lap quicker to catch on to the back of him. But it is O Danlick Baraba, the real fight at the minute. Also Tebby and Future Revenge as Tebby gets turn 1 and 2 a little wrong. And go on, Joe.
Defending.
Is it me, or do you think Tebby and Future Revenge, even though they're fighting, seems like they're slowly catching on to the back of Dean? The gap was 9 seconds.
We'll see as they come to Sector 1. Future Revenge is going to look the long way around, 9.2.
no.
So we'll check that into Sector 2. And Future Revenge this time look to make the move around the outside. Does he get it done? Has to cut the second chicane.
Robert's on the outside coming into the parabolic on Danlick. He's looking to get the undercut.
A sling shot out the corner. And the McLaren, by the end of the straight, seems to manage to stay in front. Here is Baraba and Danlick once again, side by side. Baraba crosses that line. 13 thousandths of a second behind Danlick. They are side by side. Surely we've got to see the send it from the Bentley. The big tank is going to tuck back behind Danlick. Not risking it here is Baraba. Oh, and hops over the curb massively. As well, going back to Future Revenge. Keep an eye on the front 3. You too, because Seth, Future Revenge, right on the back of Tebby here.
Oh, has he got it?
No, he hit the brakes and switches back to the left. He braked to switch back there. And now he brakes a little earlier. Yeah, just again. But look at the Bentley slingshot through the parabolic. It seems to get a better exit as Tebby closes the door.
Just like silly lunges that are just costing him time.
I just don't feel like he has the confidence as well. Oh, they've touched! Contact Tebby and Future Revenge backwards!
Tebby's gone into him!
Tebby's got Future Revenge has gone backwards over chicane 1 and he's split it around and has somehow he's wiped out half the polystyrene boards. They've tapped again. Wow. Future Revenge.
I don't know how Tebby is keeping that car straight.
I don't know how Future Revenge managed to spin that around and carry the speed on the exit road. Well, they're not 9 seconds to Dean anymore. Tebby's onto the grass and he's now he's across the chicane.
He's gonna hit the wall again, I think.
And he's got a drive-through penalty for track limits. We said drivers are close. As
I wonder if he
Baraba
had one for turn 1 and then
I reckon so.
Turn 3.
I reckon so. Well, at the minute, Dean Wasocki's going to be guaranteed P4 because the top 3.
Oh, Tebby's got off again.
They're off again.
Where is Kitias? He's coming round to the second chicane, and Tebby and Future Revenge are going to have so much damage. It's unbelievable. Tebby can't steer. He can't steer that car.
He's not in control, is he?
I don't even think he. Let's just listen to the car as it comes through. I don't even think he's full throttle, Joe.
No, he can't turn. He's turning the wheel and it's not turning. He
can't turn. So Future Revenge finally gets through. Kitty as he comes to the right-hand swoopy corner. He's going to try and obviously get Tebby, who's got, not only has he got a drive-through to do, he's got to then pit.
The wall again.
John Andrews and Pokemon have got to do something here as well. Front 3 have gapped each other a little bit more, so them 3 have kind of gone quiet. And Tebby's just got to get this back to the pit lane. Look at the state at front end.
I wonder if this is what Dan's is going to look like. He's trying to...
Orange.
He'll have the meatball flag for sure.
Look at him.
For sure he will have that meatball flag. Every
Just
time
to
he puts the...
drift
Yeah.
it.
He's putting the power down, and it's
Can't
just
even
not
drive it.
able... Look at how far he's had to come across to get it to the pit lane, and he
Look
may
at
have
the
to do a
line his car
drive-through.
is leaving.
Yeah, that car is wrecked. Kitiez will then get up to P6. John Andrews will get up to P7. Pokemart will get up another place as well. The front three, it's O from Danik from Barabe. I'm not sure if any of these three speak English. We'll have to wait until we get the job done. In fact, I know O does, because he told me today he was English, actually. So ignore that comment. We don't know if O has his correct party settings, so we'll have to make sure they do for the next time for interviews.
But Tebby's he's doing the drive-through this lap, and he's...
Oh, no. And
Oh,
look...
is he retiring?
No, he's not retiring, but look at who he's coming out of. He's now got a stop-go penalty for speeding.
Oh, it just can't get worse.
It can get worse. The leaders are coming. Oh, he's done the most sensible thing there, and has pretty much stopped to let the leaders go.
It's not been a good race.
No. Not been a good race at all. Future Avenger with his damage. Can Kitiez catch him? No, because he's just bounced over the second curb and goes off at the second chicane. So Barabe now trying to get on the back of Danik once again, Joe. What can he do from here?
Tebby's off into the gravel trap. He can't turn that car.
Yeah, that's back
he's
to
returned
pits.
to the pits.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and...
I won't be surprised if he leaves it for man.
I feel for him.
Yeah, I know that man is crying right now.
yeah, that's going to be painful. He got 8th place last week. It's going to be 9th place this week. The bonus is, well, it's a short grid until more drivers come in to fill it up, Joe, is it's points on the board.
That is true.
Yeah, he's still going to get pretty decent points.
He gets 14 points for a 9th place. That's where he's going to finish. Barabe and Danik are gaining once again on O. We said earlier, could Dean catch these three if these three fight? They haven't really fought, have they? It's been pretty much follow the leader.
Yeah, I mean, Baraba's bringing that gap back down to Danlik, because Danlik makes a mistake through the parabolica.
Yeah, so did O. O made a mistake as well. So Danlik's on the back of O. Baraba's on the back of Danlik. 1, 2, 3, side by side. Coming down the back straight. Here comes Baraba to the outside. The problem is O nearly boxing Baraba in. He breaks a lot earlier than Danlik. Danlik as well is really close to O. And look at them. They are 3 for the lead. This could now be what Dean needs if these 3 have a big incident.
Baraba seemed to keep it tight and then go wide to carry as much speed as I could.
I mean, does that mean he's not going to score any points now?
Probably so, yes.
Baraba doesn't seem as confident as Danlik on the brakes, does he?
He doesn't seem as confident, no, not at all.
It's because the McLaren's better.
Danlik seems to get a better run than Baraba coming out of turn 2 as well.
Yeah, he does. He does.
I mean, O's started to pull back. Oh, wait, is he?
Yeah, I just feel like it's this middle sector where O loses. Baraba bounce off the curb. That's not going to help him at all here. John Andrews 6 seconds off the back of Kitiez, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that one. Not surprised with that penalty. In 2 weeks, the reserve driver 66 may be able to race. So PM looks like he's going to be able to race in a couple of weeks' time. But this, it's all for the lead. Seth, you said earlier, it'd be nice to have the last part of the race where they can all race for the lead. And it's 3 for the lead with 3 different cars.
I just hope just have some good...
Danlik's made a mistake in parabolica.
Scary, yeah. Baraba's looking each way to get around him. Can't do so.
I think Baraba compromised his run trying to go around the outside of Danlik out at the exit of Ascari.
You can just see that Danlik is starting to struggle, but I also feel that O is starting to struggle, and that Bentley looks the stronger of the 3 cars, although it slides into the parabolica there. It just seems that
Baraba slowed it down enough.
The longer this race has gone on, that Bentley seems to have grown over the other cars.
The one bit I think Baraba struggles with is breaking into turn 1.
Yeah. Well, he's pulling out on Danlik and now tucks back in behind.
That's a prime example. Look at how much Danlik makes under braking.
Yeah. And that's where he's just not making any time at all. John Andrews 5.4 to Kitiez now. I'll tell you what, If a certain someone was driving, she'd be P9 at the minute. Or P8. Or possibly P7.
With this heat and the amount they're driving these cars, or over-driving, I guess you could say, their tyres are going to be dead right now.
Yeah, they are. 36-degree track temperature. It's still a warm race. It's not as warm as last week when it was in the 40s, but it is still a warm race, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I think the warmest track we had was 46.
Yeah, last week. Oh, Danlik, Baraba, both dip a wheel onto the grass at the exit of the right-hand swoopy corner. And now,
I think Danlik locked up going into the right-hand.
I think he did as well. That's allowed O to pull away a little bit, but it's put Baraba on the back. The problem is, Danlik seems to have problems at Tuscari, and Baraba seems to catch him at Tuscari. Danlik's McLaren seems so much better on the brakes than both O and the Bentley of Baraba here.
Baraba seems to be losing a lot more.
But then he gains out the exit of the Ascari. I wonder if he can run the curb a lot better than Danlik.
Yeah, I mean, look at the size of the car. It squashes the curb.
The McLaren can't take curves for his life.
I wouldn't say it squashes it, I'd say it sails over it, because, you know, we call it the boat loop.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, good use of words there, Joe.
Yeah.
Sails over it, yeah. Well done, Jojo. Go and get yourself a sweet. As Baraba exits the final corner, is stuck behind Danlik. 2 minutes 26 left. We're going to get this, and I believe one more lap in the race here, as these guys are coming up to lap John Andrews and Kitiez. That gap's down to 3.8 seconds, actually, but at the minute it is O who leads from Danlik from Baraba. Dean Wasoki's P4 with Future Revenge 5th, Kitiez 6th, John Andrews 7th, Pokemart 8th. We have lost Tebby and Albuquerque.
That's disappointing, because if they both continued, they could have, well, if Albuquerque was in the correct car, he would have had some decent points as it is. Oh, Baraba misses braking. Yeah,
he's gone straight on at turn 2. That is not the way he needed to go.
He's got to be careful now, because if he got a warning for that, it could be on his last one.
Yeah, he could be, and the last thing you want is a drive-through penalty at the moment, because what you're going to lose there, we saw Pokemon lose quite a lot of time. He's still 21 seconds behind. That could gift Dean Wasoki a podium going on to the last lap of the race.
John Andrews is continuously chipping time out of...
Danlik! What? Whoa!
Yeah, what's happened?
Has O run out of fuel?
He did this last week. He was out of fuel last week. He's gone straight on. He stopped! He stopped in the gravel! He's returned to the pit lane! He's out of fuel!
Oh!
OCE and 2R has gifted a podium to Dean Wasoki! It is now a fight between Danlik and Baraba!
Crashing to each other. No, don't crash.
Wow!
See,
Baraba's...
my wish has been granted.
Wow! Leader on the final lap of the race, and this is bitter to the end. Danlik versus Baraba, but Dean Wasoki has been gifted a 3rd place here. Danlik in the gravel.
Baraba made a mistake as well.
Now.
Yeah, Danlik's just got to keep his cool and in for his first ever win. Oh, what has he done here? Kitty is being caught by John Andrews. These two will not want to be caught by Danlik, because I want to get to the end of this so that they can make sure they get that extra lapping, because Danlik is catching him here. Ricardo in the chat. Not sure what that says. Don't speak Spanish? Italian? Not sure.
I'm doing that in school. What does it say?
I don't know. Don't speak Italian or Spanish.
Can't
speak it, so I don't know what it is. Don't know what it says. It's Danlik.
Hola. May I
Oh,
answer?
no, don't say Ola. I know that one. O's retired. O has left the lobby and retired from the race, so that will at least be out of fuel. That will be 8th place. That has promoted everybody up. Well, we might get to speak to somebody tonight. We might get to speak with a very, very happy Dean Wysocki. Danlick has Baraba now, but Baraba, Joe, is just too far back. 9/10, although he's got a mighty run through the Scottish chicane. He's got to make this move. He's got to make it stick. He's coming down towards the Parabolica. He's got to send it up the inside. Does he think of making a late lunge? No, he doesn't. Danlick on the brakes. He needs a better run through through the Parabolica. He bounces all over the curb, but he's not going to get it. Bit of a slide from Baraba. It is going to be Danlick who wins his first race at SimPlay Motorsport. Baraba once again the bridesmaid, and well, you have to say that for this man, he has walked in and stole a podium.
John Andrews and Kitty S. Always close.
We'll go back time in a minute. We're just going to watch Dean cross the line.
.2.
Keep your eyes on that battle as we're going to watch Dean come towards the line. Now he's at the Parabolica. Driver of the day poll has gone up. We put O in it for sure. Last corner, last lap, says Benedict Volger. It wasn't to happen. And Dean rounds the Parabolica. Well, Pokemon down in 7th. Dean Wysocki, I'm sure, to bit your hand off at a 3rd place. Joey crosses the line for P3.
Come on, John.
As Future Revenge comes down towards the final corner as well. It's only going to be P4, and that he's not the points he would have wanted in his championship, but with O retiring, it gives him another place. Joe, your heart has to bleed for O.
Yeah, I mean, what was it, second to last lap?
Yep.
Halfway through, so a lap and a half left, and he ran out of fuel.
Oh, we just got fuel calculations on Discord.
Right, Kitiez coming towards the line. Coming towards the Parabolica, John Andrews is getting closer and closer, but has Kitiez done enough? John Andrews looks a little too far back. It looks like it is going to go the way of Kitiez for P5 at the end of the night. Job done for Kitiez and John Andrews. Fantastic to see there. A fantastic bit of racing from them two. And that then was the end of the AM race. 3 retirements. We lost Albuquerque, we lost Tebby, and we lost O. But it is Danlick. What are you seeing?
At the bottom in 11th, Albuquerque came in.
He came, yeah, so he did actually come in the Nissan left and chose the Porsche. But what we are seeing is Danlick, who is now a 1-time race winner, Joe.
Hey, there's always... What's the... I can't think of the word.
Go on.
It's always nice to see a new driver at the top.
It is. We love seeing a new driver win. And in terms of that, what it has done then to the Manufacturers' Championship, it has put Bentley 77 points clear of Audi, but there was no Audis on the grid tonight. Audi then RP2 with Ferrari up into 3rd. They are just ahead of McLaren with Honda down in 5th. Porsche are 6th with Lexus in 7th place. Jaguar RP8. Aston Martin 9th with Nissan 10th. BMW bringing up the rear in 11th place. The Drivers' Championship, though, looks a little like this. It is Baraba who now has a 13-point lead over Future Revenge on 51 points. Pokemon goes into P3, 22 points behind. Owi's down to 4th, 26 off the back, tied with John Andrews. PN Motorsport then is in 6th place with Danlick down in 7th. After Danlick comes Tebby on 30 points. Dean Wysocki, 3 points off the back of Tebby already. He's P9. Kitiez down in 10th and Albuquerque bringing up the rear. Seth, final thoughts from you and your driver of the day.
Driver of the day, I'm going to have to go with... Wait, who won it again? I've forgotten already.
Danlick.
Danlick. I'm going to have to go Danlick. Great practice session. Pretty good qualifying, and of course he won the race.
He did win the race. Joe, final thoughts and driver of the day from you?
It was a good race. Just a shame there was a couple of retirements, you know, a couple of mistakes from the other drivers, but overall a good race, and my driver of the day's got to go to Dean.
Yep. I'm going to end with a similar sentiment. Good race, good driving. Not as many incidents as I was expecting, especially at turn 1. And I'm going to give my driver of the day to Danlick as well. I think he drove a fantastic race. But honourable shout-outs to O, Baraba and Dean Wysocki, who drove a great race as well. The fans' vote for driver of the day is tied. Dean Wysocki and Danlick gets the fan vote for driver of the day. The commentators' vote goes the way of Danlick with 2 votes to 1. But that is all we have time for in the amateur class. If you want to see more action this week at SimPlay Motorsport, make sure you tune in tomorrow night, myself and Benedict Varga will be live for the Pro-Am Series, in which they will be taking to the Monza circuit. Few more cars out on track tomorrow night as well. If you want to see me and Joe out on the track, make sure you tune in on Thursday night for the Pro Series, where Dan Davis and PN Motorsport will be live for that one. But that is all we have time for. Thank you to Seth and to Joe tonight.
You're very welcome, my friend. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, pleasure as always. And we will see you on the next one. We are at Imola in 2 weeks' time. Can PN Motorsport come back and take another win? Will Danlick take his second win? Could Barber or Dean maybe steal it? We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Good boy.